What's up, Broncos country? Brace yourselves because today's talk is on fire. Picture this. Aqib Talib, the man who helped us hoist the Lombardi Trophy at Super Bowl 50, sits down and drops the blueprint on how to turn our secondary into an impenetrable wall, a new no-fly zone. And he's not just hyping up our beast Pat Certain too, he's shining a spotlight on rookie Jody Barron, our first-round pick in the 2025 draft, and handing over the cheat code to shut down every offense that comes our way. Want to know how the Broncos can dominate the AFC West again? Then stick with us, Denver Broncos family, because this video takes you straight to the heart of Mile High Stadium. Let's ride. Hey there, Broncos fam, ready to dive into what could be the golden future of our defense? Today we're breaking down an epic conversation that's got fans buzzing. Aqib Talib, one of the greatest cornerbacks to ever wear orange and blue, sat down with his former teammate Benny Fowler on the DNVR Broncos podcast and opened up about how our secondary can once again become a quarterback-crushing machine. He talked about our leader Pat Certain too, the rookie Jody Barron, and how this group can bring back the vibes of the legendary 2015 no-fly zone, the unit that held elite NFL offenses, from Ben Roethlisberger to Cam Newton, to just 14.7 points per game in the playoffs. So strap on your helmet, buckle up, because this talk is a straight-up touchdown. Let's set the stage. The Broncos' 2025 secondary is loaded with the kind of potential that makes every fan dream big. Led by Pat Certain too, who, let's be real, is the best cornerback in the NFL right now, our DB group is stacked with raw talent. We've got Riley Moss emerging as a solid piece, growing with every snap, Brandon Jones bringing leadership and experience, Talanoa Hufanga flying all over the field, and now rookie Jody Barron, who enters the league with a strong resume from Texas and a first-round draft pick tag. This group has what it takes to make quarterbacks think twice before every throw, but as Talib knows better than anyone, talent alone doesn't win games. He lived it, playing alongside legends like Chris Harris Jr., T.J. Ward, Darian Stewart, and Bradley Roby. So when Talib speaks, we listen. Talib's first piece of advice is what he calls the off-field secret. And no, it's not about technique or physical prep, it's about building real connection between the guys in the secondary. He emphasized creating that brotherhood, that family vibe beyond the sidelines. How hosting what he calls a DB night, a night just for the defensive backs. It could be a backyard BBQ, a card night hanging out at a bar, or even a video game session. The key is to bond, laugh, and build trust. When you have that connection, you can speak straight up on the field. I could look at TJ Ward and say, "Man, cover that top right," and it wasn't a problem because we were brothers, Talib explained. And he sees that same potential in today's group with Certain, Moss, Hufanga, and Barron. Just imagine those guys joking, roasting each other, and building that brotherhood off the field. That's how you go from a good secondary to a legendary one. So, Broncos country, what do you think? What would the perfect DB night look like for our squad? A BBQ with Certain at the grill? Or maybe Barron throwing down in a FIFA tourney? Drop it in the comments. We want to hear how you see these guys bonding into an unbreakable wall. Now, onto Talib's second big point, which is advice straight to rookie Jody Barron. But honestly, it's gold for any player who wants to shine in the NFL. He said, "No gray area, man. Everything's got to be black and white. If you don't get something in the meeting, raise your hand and ask. Don't leave that room with questions. It's about discipline, clarity, and accountability. In the heat of a game, with Josh Allen trying to bait you with play action or Patrick Mahomes launching a bomb deep, you can't afford to be unsure of who's covering what or what the call is. Barron, who graded out as the top coverage corner in the NCAA in 2024 per PFF with a 91.2, clearly has the raw talent to be a monster in the league, but Talib knows that to get there, Barron needs a pro-level mindset. And speaking of Barron, Talib is really hyped about him. He called the rookie versatile and said he's got a cheat code to fast-track his success. What is it? Simple. Follow Pat Certain too. Stick with Certain, ask him everything, get his number, learn how to be a pro, Talib said. Think about it. Barron, who racked up 5 interceptions and 17 pass breakups last season at Texas, now learning side by side with the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, that's like having the treasure map. Barron is expected to primarily play in the slot, but his versatility allows him to move outside or even line up as a safety in certain packages. And with Certain as his example, a guy who faces the league's best wideouts every week, from Jamar Chase to CeeDee Lamb, Barron's got the perfect mentor to become the next shutdown star. Come on, fam, tell me that doesn't give you chills. A rookie with Barron's potential, learning from PS2 in a group that already has Hufanga, Moss, and Jones. That sounds like the formula for a secondary that's going to make opposing offenses wave the white flag. But Talib left a message for Barron too. Reset your mind. Making it to the NFL is the dream, but now it's time to set new goals. When I got to the league, I thought, I'm here, now what? What's the next step? Talib shared. For Barron, that next step means proving he belongs with the big dogs, going up against receivers like Devonta Smith, T. Higgins, and Travis Hunter in his rookie year. And with the energy he's bringing out of Texas, we've got every reason to believe he'll deliver. But it's not just about Barron. Talib also praised how Patrick Surtain, too, is the anchor of this defense. And he's got a brutal 2025 schedule ahead. Calvin Ridley in Week 1, Malik Neighbors in Week 2, Brock Bowers in Week 5, and even the beast Travis Kelce later in the season. And get this, Talib believes Surtain is more than ready to lock any of them down. He's already faced off against Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, and Justin Jefferson, and came out on top. With Barron, Moss, and Hufanga locking down the rest of the field, this Broncos secondary might just be the difference between a good season and a historic one. And speaking of defense, the Broncos finished 2024 as the third best scoring defense in the NFL, allowing just 17.8 points per game. With these new additions, is it crazy to dream about reaching the very top? And there's more. Broncos fam. Talib also touched on what every Denver fan wants to hear: how to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. We all know Mahomes is a nightmare. Impossible throws, last-second comebacks, but Talib thinks the key is constant pressure and perfect communication in the secondary. With Barron's versatility covering the slot or blitzing, Surtain locking down WR1s, and Hufanga flying in to close gaps, Denver has a real shot at finally taking the AFC West crown. Talib even recalled how the 2015 no-fly zone defense held the Chiefs to just 13 points in a head-to-head matchup. So is 2025 the year we flip the script on Kansas City? What do you think, Broncos country? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Can this secondary shut Mahomes down? And for that dose of nostalgia we all love, Talib reminisced about the glory days of Super Bowl 50. He talked about how that defense, with him, Chris Harris Jr., Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, and the rest, wasn't just about talent. It was about trust. We knew if one guy messed up, the other would have his back. It was a brotherhood, said Talib. He sees that same spirit in today's squad, especially with leaders like Surtain and Hufanga, and he's not the only one excited. Alex Singleton, our linebacker and defensive heart, said the locker room feels like Christmas morning with the arrival of Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw, and Barron. If you're not dreaming of being the best in May, what are you even doing? Singleton asked. And with that kind of mindset, I'm starting to believe 2025 could truly be our year. By the way, another thing Talib pointed out is how Barron's versatility could be a game changer. He's not just a slot corner. The guy can line up outside, cover tight ends, even drop back as a safety in specific packages. That gives Coach Sean Payton so many options to confuse opposing offenses. Imagine Barron covering a guy like Cortland Sutton in practice, getting ready for matchups against Deebo Samuel or DK Metcalf in season. That's the kind of prep that builds a dominant defense. And with Surtain leading the group, confidence is sky high. Talib even joked, if PS2 is on the field, the QB starts the game with one eye closed, because he knows half the field is locked down. So fam, can you feel the hype? A secondary with Surtain, Barron, Moss, Hufanga, and Jones? With Talib handing over the torch from the no-fly zone and Sean Payton steering the ship? I don't know about y'all, but I see potential for something massive here. Now I want to hear from you. What matchup are you most hyped for? Surtain versus Jamar Chase, Barron in the slot against Xavier Worthy, Hufanga throwing down with Travis Kelce? Drop it in the comments. We want to know what's on the minds of Broncos country. Yo, Broncos country, feeling the fire in this defense? Then it's time to show you're part of the Denver Broncos family for real. Subscribe to the channel, smash that button, hit the bell, And don't miss a single play, a single breakdown, a single update on our squad. Let's grow this channel like Mile High on game day. 76,000 fans screaming, "Let's ride!" Come ride with us all the way to the top of the AFC West. Look, fam, real talk. When Aqib Talib speaks, I get goosebumps. The man didn't just live the glory of Super Bowl 50, he knows what it takes to build a legendary defense. Seeing him this pumped about Jahdae Barron and Pat Certain too, it's got me fired up for 2025. But I want to hear from you. What do you think Barron has to do to become a star in year one, and what would be the ultimate DB night to bring this secondary together? Maybe a Colorado-style BBQ, Certain brings the ribs, Hufanga's on beer duty? Share your ideas in the comments. This is your space, Broncos Nation. So tell us, Broncos country, what did you think of Talib's insights? How do you see Jahdae Barron performing in the NFL? And most importantly, can this secondary bring back the glory of the no-fly zone? Drop your opinions in the comments, smash that like button, share this video with your crew, and don't forget to subscribe to stay locked in. Until next time, let's ride.